I'm Sith for Life, and today I'm going over my top 10 Star Wars Black Series 2024 action figures. Sitting at number 10, we have the Ook from the Shadows of the Empire 4-pack. This was a 4-pack that just kind of came out of nowhere and had absolutely no expectations of it ever coming out. When it got here, it was actually pretty good. Decent articulation. His sleeves get in the way a little bit of his arm movement, but overall it's not too bad. He's got a good, wild, evil look to his face, and I like the cloak, and overall it's a pretty solid figure. That's why he's going to be at number 10 on my list. Number 9 from that same 4-pack is the Luke. It's a good enough figure, but it's just a reuse from the Return of the Jedi anniversary figure, minus the ability to change out the chest pieces. He looks alright, but it's just, to me, seems like the wrong Luke for this particular 4-pack. I feel like his more robed look would have been a much more fitting design style, but it's a good enough figure. It's another Luke, so that's why he's at number 9 on my list. Number 8 is, of course, the Mara from that same 4-pack. It's a complete and utter reuse. The only thing we got additional was an extra head sculpt with the scarf around the head, but other than that, it is 100% the exact same figure, which is fine. It's another Mara in case you missed the last one, but it would have been nice to see something a little bit different. But overall, she's a good enough figure. A little hard to stand, but you know, they're all that way, it seems like. So she's going to sit at number 8 on my list. It's on my list is Paz Vizsla from The Mandalorian, the deluxe figure. This was not the one that has removable helmet, but I wouldn't ever display him like that anyway, so it's not that big of a deal to me. He's got a lot of good sculpting, decent paint apps. He's big and intimidating, and actually surprisingly posable for such a big guy. He's a really fun character on the show, but I'm just not as much into the newer stuff as much, so that's why he's going to be lower on the list at number 7. But don't get me wrong, he's a great figure. Number 6 is the A New Hope re-release of the Darth Vader. It would be higher, but the articulation is still the old school style with single jointed elbows and knees. His sculpt is great, paint's perfect. I got no issues on that. The only thing holding him back is the articulation. Other than that, he is fantastic. But the lack of articulation is going to handicap him at number 6 on my list. Number 5 is the Stormtrooper from the Rebel and Stormtrooper 2-pack. It's just your normal, average Stormtrooper. Nothing unique or special about him. He's just a solid addition to the army. And, it's always good to have another Stormtrooper, especially in those Army Builder 2-packs that Hasbro's doing. It's a great idea, but he's got decent enough articulation. The sculpt's everything you need it to be. Mine's got a little weirdness on the brow there on the paint, but when he's lined up with a bunch of other Stormtroopers, you can't hardly tell. So to me, it's not that big of a deal. And that's why he's going to be sitting at number 5. I'm at number 4 is the Stormtrooper's older brother, the Phase 2 Clone Trooper, also from the 2-pack with the Battle Droid. And he's got all the articulation. What limited paint he's got is on point, very well detailed. He's got the updated articulation, and it's just overall a fantastic addition to the Clone Trooper lineup. Makes me happy to put him at number 4 on the list for 2024. At number 3 is Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace 3-pack. He's got great articulation and sculpt. His paint application on his face is just fantastic. I mean, he doesn't come with anything other than his robe, but it's a simple character. That's all he needs. I didn't have a Darth Maul in my collection yet, so I was pretty happy when I found him out in the wild. He's going to sit happily at number 3 on 2024 list. At At number 2 is the Qui-Gon Jinn, also from that Phantom Menace 3-pack. Is another figure that I did not have a copy of, and to see a new one out in the wild was a pretty good deal. His face likeness is pretty decent. He's got good sculpt in his robes, and the lightsaber looks good. Not a whole lot more to say about him. He's just overall a good likeness of Qui-Gon Jinn, so he's going to sit happily at number 2 on my list. Lastly, at number 1 is the last figure from that 4-pack. That's Joruus C'baoth. It's a figure that I never really expected to get in action figure form with the Disney takeover, but I was very pleasantly surprised, and they did a fantastic job. There's not a whole lot to him, but the face sculpt is good, the costume's good. He's got a good mix of cloth goods and classic molding. Lightsaber looks good, and the reuse of Palpatine's lightning was a good addition, in my opinion. And so he's quickly found his way to the number 1 spot on my 2024 Black Series collection. To be honest, 2024 was not a great year for Black Series. When a majority of the best figures of the year are re-releases and repackages, you just really messed up. Here's hoping that 2025 holds some better releases in store. Thanks for watching.